I've been going through something recently that honestly I let bring me down for a little bit there. And while I was in this state, I thought about, first off, how fragile the human mind is. And second, that there's always two different perspectives that you can have on something. You can let it bring you down, and you can let it eat you apart and question life, question your sanity, or you can use it to make you stronger. And that's the thing that really, honestly, when I was going through it, I thought maybe I'm just not strong. Like maybe I'm the exception. Like I'm not gonna be the one to get through it. And then that's whenever I started to really think, like, we're all going through something. Every time I went into public and I was basically just people watching and just thinking of, every person that I was interacting with or encountering, and I just thought, like, I don't even know. First off, I don't know these people, and there's no way for me to know what they're going through. Part of that made me feel better, because being human means that, you look it and people aren't ever going to truly know what you're going through. It made me feel like, okay, like, I'm going through it, but no one here around me knows that I'm going through it. And so maybe I'm not. Like, maybe I can fake it, And then there was another part of me that was angry about it. Like, I'm going through so much, and these people are going on with their lives, and they don't even see the pain that I'm going through. Even now, I mean, let me not pretend like I'm 100% okay right now, because I'm not. But I think that there was like an initial just like depression that really hit, that I didn't care about anything. And when you're in that, everything is just so black and white. If you're going through anything, I just want you to know. And the thing is when I'm going through something, which is so crazy, this is the last thing I want to hear, but it's the most important thing that I need to hear. And it's that you're gonna get through it, and everything will be okay. And you're stronger than you think. I think about all of the times that I've been through things in my life, and you have this like overwhelming feeling that you're just not gonna get through it, and you're convincing yourself that there's no absolute possible way that things are gonna get better. And you're so clear, like you tell yourself this, and what you're saying is facts in your brain. Like, your brain is not accepting anything else. But then I think about all the times that I did get out of it, and that's what I had to remind myself whenever I'm going through something is, as cheesy as the saying goes, you've survived 100% of your hardest days. And you're here right now. Not everyone's life is perfect. Like, there's not a single person that I know that has a perfect life and has never encountered any type of problem or any type of pain. That's not the point of life. The point of life is to go through things and to encounter things that are painful and that you will struggle through. One day we're not going to be here, and that can, also be something that freaks you out, because this existence that we're currently experiencing will one day not exist. And that can be kind of scary, because you're like, then what's the point of it all? But then there's the other side of it, where it's like, you can do whatever you want with this time here. And if you're going through something and you're struggling with it, just think about how good you're going to feel when you get towards the end of your life and you're reflecting back on everything. You're going to look back and be like, I did that. Like, I went through that. I struggled, and I was in pain, and I had to go through this, and whatever it may be, because honestly, it can apply to any challenge that you have in life. I'm more so thinking of the ones that humble you. When you get through those challenges, you're going to feel so good about yourself in the end. Because at the end of the day, like when you think about it, there's nothing else that you can do. Because the problems that we're experiencing and the problems that, you know, are bringing you down and making you depressed and like making you feel like there's no meaning in anything, those are like the very things that are gonna give you meaning and gonna give you purpose and remind you why you're here. Because once you get through it, like you become like a better version of yourself. It's just like this whole, you know, thing that's happening. Honestly, I've been thinking about it because the alternative is too dark. Like the alternative of like thinking that life is completely pointless. But it's like, no, like God put us here for a reason and we all have a purpose. Doesn't really matter if anyone knows that purpose or if you want to say and boast about that purpose. That doesn't matter at all. It's just you're here for a reason, and let every challenge remind you why you're here. You're here to get through things. You're here to feel better about yourself, to become stronger. It's like we look at these problems as something that is interrupting your life and that shouldn't be happening and it shouldn't be you and whatever it may be. And although I do agree with you, honestly, half of the time, but the other half of the time I tell myself that what would life be without them? What actually would be the point if everything was perfect and you had nothing that ever challenged you? What would be the point? Like, what would humble you? What would remind you that time here is very limited? Like, you need to be reminded of those things to know how precious it is to be here. So if you're out there and you're going through it, first off, I'm sorry. Just because, you know, I'm saying all these things, it doesn't make it any better or easier. But your perspective on things determines everything. It determines how you feel about your life, how you feel about yourself, how you feel about the people around you. And if you don't change that perspective, if you don't challenge that perspective, then I'm afraid that you'll continue to look at life as this negative thing or this thing that happens to you. You know what I mean? Just know that perspective is everything. And you can go through it and you can feel all the feelings as you should, because every single feeling that we experience in this lifetime just shows that you're human. But at some point, to live life to the actual fullest, you have to change the way you're thinking about things. And it's hard. It's not something that's easy. It's something that I have to remind myself literally every day of, whenever I'm wanting to look at life as this negative thing and as something that's not great. I have to remind myself in the moment that, first off, this is the whole point of life. And second, that there's so much beauty and there's so much out there for you to, or I guess for me to go and grab and to experience and to be grateful for. It's crazy also because, you know, when you go through these things, when you go through such tribulations in life, it's in those moments where you become so grateful for everything, because you're being told like you're just human, and to be just human is such a great thing. And I feel like that's something that we forget all the time, whether it be because you are depressed or whether it be because you're so freaking happy right now. It doesn't even matter. We all must remember that through the highs and the lows, like, we're here experiencing this. We get to wake up every day and we get to hug our loved ones and we get to make choices. And that's what matters. The people in our lives that we get to meet and the air that we get to breathe and the things that we get to see and all of those things, those are the things that we can't forget about every day. And those are the things that we tend to forget about every day. It's actually quite sad. It really is the little things that matter. Everything else is just a bonus. Whatever it may be. Even if you consider it a small problem, or if you consider it the biggest problem you've ever encountered or faced, you're going to get through it. And I believe in you. And everything will be okay. Even if it's not okay. Your perspective may need to change. And your version of what you think okay means may need to be altered. But you'll get through it.